Three, two, one.
Boom. Welcome, everybody, to the Build and Grow with Real Estate Show. My name is Judah Hoover. This guy right over here is my good friend, Josh Weidman. This guy right over here is another very good friend of mine. His name is Luis Ortega. This is the Build and Grow with Real Estate Show where we talk about two things: how you can make money every day to put bread in your mouth from real estate, and how you can build wealth to change your family tree, change your legacy, and change what your future and your kids' future and your grandkids' future looks like because of real estate. As you guys know, every Thursday we come to you with a hard-hitting, awesome guest. Today's hard-hitting, awesome guest is a guy who I've probably known for like 20 years, but really got to know him very well over the past 3 years. As you guys know, I'm a real estate investor and a realtor. Josh is a real estate investor and a hard money lender. And as a realtor, I have to have my license hung with a broker of record. And so Lewis is my broker of record. Funny fact, I was actually doing real estate deals and had done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of real estate deals before I ever got my real estate license. And I always thought the word agent was like you're an agent, you're acting on behalf of the client in that transaction. You're negotiating for them and everything like that. Wrong. You are the agent of the broker. Whenever a real estate deal is done, two brokers are doing that deal, and they let their agents actually do the grunt work for them. And so really, I'm an agent for Luis Ortega. It's a very personal relationship, and it's a very important relationship. And Lewis and I kind of came up together in real estate. We never really worked together on too many deals, a couple here and there. But when we had the opportunity to kind of both be partners with Slate House Group, it was just a great fit, and it's been really good. And so, Lewis, go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Lewis, listen. Judah's making it sound like you.
Josh, I don't think we've met in person, so pleasure.
Exactly, we've never met in person. That's what I'm saying. So it's great to have you on here. First of all, second of all, the way Judah explains it, it's like you two are dating, but like you never actually went out on a date. You know, and he's like, yeah, we've known each other for a long time, and like we're, whatever. The cool thing is you're here, and what I love is in talking with Judah on prepping for this thing. I'm like, every time we have a guest, sometimes he's pulling in the contact, sometimes it's a friend of mine, and so in this case, we don't know each other. I'm looking you up on Facebook. I'm doing some research. He's like, the guy's a real estate investor. He's an agent for a long time. He's our broker of record. We got so much that we can talk about. And he's like, this guy's got so much knowledge. So like, I always like to know how the heck you got started in real estate. Why real estate? What caught your attention? What got you started?
I had some shoebox money and just kind of like doing random things. I used to wholesale cars. I've always been very entrepreneurial. And really was just kind of saving up some cash and I knew at an early age, I come from the restaurant background. Right out of college, I got right into the restaurant business, and I was managing bars and restaurants. I mean, not the most conducive, and I had just gotten married at the time. Not the most conducive role or business to be in for successful relationships. I'll tell you that. Right. And I was young guy, just out of college, had got my degree in business management, associate's degree. I knew I wasn't going to end up working for someone else forever. I mean, I knew right away I wanted to be an entrepreneur since high school. Okay.
Yep.
So very quickly I realized that I was putting in 60, 65, 70 hours a week, and I was getting paid a salary to be a restaurant manager. And I don't know if anyone's heard of, I'm sure you have heard of Your Place restaurant. Your Place.
Yeah. YP, baby. Love it.
YP, born in Lancaster, by the way. And then they opened up some other restaurants in Central PA. And you won by you, Josh, up in Harrisburg area, right? You're in Harrisburg.
Palmyra, close.
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, I'm right outside of Hershey. So like there's a YP, or at least was a YP for a long time.
I managed that was my like home store, the one across from the medical center in Hershey.
Yeah. Oh, get out of here. Yeah. Well, how long ago was that? 20 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 41 right now, so I was 20 years old. 20 years old when I took that role.
Oh, dude, people that were working for you were probably carding me with my fake ID when I was 22. 20, trying to get served there. That's funny.
I was probably the one going around being like, "Are you guys checking?"
Yeah, let me see that ID. Yeah, right. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, long story short, that business.
Hold on, I gotta interrupt and say this. So like, I come from the restaurant background and the construction background. Like, my uncles and stuff like that had construction background. I think that like more so than anything else, having a restaurant background, if you want to become a real estate investor, is what's going to teach you the hustle. Like, you might be a good salesman, you might be good with numbers, you might be good at this part, but the thing that it takes 100% to be successful at real estate investing is the hustle that you get from
all you're doing
work in the real estate industry or work in the restaurant industry.
That's it.
And Lewis
is dealing with people and serving them, and and making people happy. And go ahead.
What's right? Well, I think so. I got started in that industry too. Like, I worked in restaurants in high school and in college, and like it's a great way to make some money, But what you learn doing that is like how to bust your butt with a smile on your face, and you're like, did you ever see that? Oh, what the heck is that movie where one of the characters, she's like the nicest person at the table, walks into the back, and she's like, those MF blah 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 blah, and then she, oh yeah, that sounds so great, but you learn to put the face on, and you learn how to sell, and you learn, and if you do it well, like that translates to a heck of a lot of other industries where you can make a lot more money.
I was damn good at this role. Okay, just being in management, restaurant, bar management. I've always been in the entertainment industry because I got like a musical background and stuff too. So like it worked well. But bottom line is I learned very early that I'm working for someone else's dream. And I'm getting paid a salary because salary sounds sexy until you realize that it just means that we get to pay you X amount of dollars based on a 40-hour work week. But since you're a manager, you're going to work twice that, right? So, I came home one night from closing the bar down because I used to close it down. And by the time you end up closing down and I get the deposit ready for the next morning and just count the money in the safe and get everyone out, it's 3 a.m. It's 3:30 in the morning. So I'm getting home at like 4:30, and what's on TV but infomercials? I put it on. Carlton Sheets. That's it.
Yes, I love him.
So if anybody, maybe it's cool that we.
Me too, dude. Me too. Yeah.
I don't know how old you are, man, but we may be showing our age because a lot of the millennials probably don't know who Carlton Sheets was, because I was like right at that cusp where he was phasing out. Yep. But I saw the Carlton Sheets program, the infomercial. I pulled out my debit card and I ordered the entire the entire course. And you're paid for a course. And at the time, I think it was DVDs, right? It was DVDs, and then it was like books that the big old binder, and you just going through all this, this whole course. So 3 weeks later, I think I finished the course, and a week later, I put in an offer on my first property with one of my partners that I was side hustling and wholesaling cars with. We ended up, he had a dealer's license. We were wholesaling cars together. That was fun. But we put an offer in on our first property for $15,000 cash. We got the deal accepted. We settled a week later, and I was not licensed. I was just an investor following this Carlton Sheets program, how to buy homes, how to flip them, right? How to negotiate all these deals, creative financing, all that stuff. We ended up buying this deal, this house, fixed it up with $15,000. We had $30,000 all in. And this is 2004. Okay. 2003, 4. And
where is this deal? Where's the property?
In Lancaster City, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
in the middle of the hood. All right. I mean, this isn't a fancy home. This is like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we're talking right up 56 Chester Street and in the southeast neighborhood of Lancaster. Okay.
Okay.
And, but, you know, I know everybody. I had a lot of contacts. It was easy for me to find tenants. You know, I mean, it was just, it made sense to do this deal. We put 30 grand all into it, called the bank. Ended up getting a refinance, got it appraised for 65 grand. You know, ended up doing an 80% loan to value, an 80% refi. We actually made money on our refinance. Now, you know, if we get deeper into talking about real estate investment, I don't suggest that you do that. Don't over leverage yourself. Cash flow is really important, but good leverage is important as well. We could have broken even on our refi and done like a 60% LTV, you know, and been fine. But we made money on we got all 30 grand back. We got like an extra, I don't know, 10, 15K or something like that to play with on top. And here's the beautiful thing when you make money on a refi. You don't pay taxes.
Exactly. It's tax-free, baby.
On borrowed money. I could have flipped it, made 30K. We would have ended up having to pay 25% of the profits in income taxes and capital gains, short-term capital gains tax. Well, we didn't have to pay that because we got a refinance and got a check, on a mortgage.
And the beauty, as you're talking, this is what I was thinking of. When you go in and you flip a property, you make money one time. And you have to pay big taxes on it, right?
Yeah.
But when you can hold on to that thing, you essentially flipped it to yourself. And yeah, you know what? You missed out on 20 grand in maybe 20 grand in profit. And at that price point, you might not have gotten it, right?
Yeah.
So you get your 10 grand that you can put in your pocket, but every month you get to put more money in your pocket. You keep the equity, like it gives you, and you get all your money back. It's amazing.
So you keep the asset.
Yeah.
You break even on your investment. You get your money back, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you make profit on your money, on your investment, and you still keep the property. And now you take on a mortgage, and the tenant's paying that loan back for me.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So I also make positive cash flow, monthly income. I retain the asset that's going to gain value over time. Right.
I have so many questions for you, but keep going.
Anyway, that was my crash course in my first deal. Okay. And I didn't look back.
There's nothing like jumping in the water, right? Like I always tell people, like, you can read 5 books on swimming, or you can spend 5 minutes in the pool. And you're actually going to learn much more by just spending 5 minutes in the pool than you are spending 5 books reading. And there's a whole bunch of people who read a lot, they attend seminars, and they're on Bigger Pockets, but they've never actually dove in and done a deal.
Right? Yeah, and listen, investing's not for everybody, and hustling is not everybody's a hustler. Not everybody gets, you know, for me, that drives me, you know, like the unknown, the no guarantees part of this. You know, every day I wake up, I don't know what's coming next, but that's exciting.
I got to point something out here, though.
Yeah, you
jumped in and got wet, but you didn't go jump in the deep end or like the middle of the ocean. You didn't start out with a $3 million deal. You went in with 15,000 and 15,000 with a partner. You knew what your worst case scenario was. Right. And you know what? It's not going to make or break you. 15 grand, it's not nothing, but it's also not a huge amount, right? So like that was smart. Here's my couple questions. First of all, you said it's in the ghetto. It's a mess, right? But you know that neighborhood. You know the people that live there. You've got connections there. Mm-hmm. This is one thing that I always thought was amazing. When you meet somebody that, like, I mean, I used to have a property management company, right? So I know what it's like managing really rough properties and really nice properties. But what always amazed me is when you meet the guy that had like 75 decent properties in the hood. Yeah. And you're like, how the heck you do it? He's like, well, every Saturday I go and collect rent. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, these are always the guys that never have their rent due on the first of the month either. You know, it's always like whenever they move in, they're paid. So these guys are like collecting every week. They know all their tenants. They come from the area. So somebody starts giving them crap. They're like, yeah, that's not how it happens. I was here, you know, like I grew up here, and they don't live there anymore. But it always impressed me to see that and to see the respect of their tenants for them. You know what I mean? And like, it's like,
well,
okay.
this is the people business, man. We're in service to humanity, right?
Yeah.
I mean, providing housing, there's a reason why there's tax incentives to owning real estate, right? I mean, there's a reason why that the government incentivizes you to take on debt and potentially pay zero income taxes on your income, right?
Yeah.
If you do it right. And that's, maybe that's getting a little too complicated, but I suggest everyone read a book that's called, you know what? Hold on 1 second. I'll bring it up.
Oh man, we got a book recommendation. I love it.
So here you go.
Tax-free
Wealth. Okay. Tom Wheelwright. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
He is a rich dad advisor.
That's one of the rich dad
Robert Kiyosaki. Listen, it talks to you about why the rich don't pay taxes. Okay. And I really love the concept, but here's the thing is you're in the people business. Okay. And you got to have integrity, man. The people who are long-term successful in this landlord game are the people who have empathy and who actually care about humanity, who care about humans, other humans. Like the quality of life. You're right. So there's a difference between affordable housing and quality affordable housing, right? So a part of that quality means building the right relationships, having integrity, but visiting these properties. There's a difference between property management and asset management. I always tell people that, if you aren't visiting your properties, driving by them, checking out, is there trash all over the place outside? Do I have a leak? Is my awning hanging off, half off? Regardless of what it is, I think that there's something important about visiting your properties, whether you have a property manager or not, because asset management is a totally different thing. And that's really key to preserving your investments,
Preach.
So anyway, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I tried a couple properties and then I realized I don't have enough capital. And I got into the flip game. I started flipping real estate. So the beautiful thing about flipping real estate, although you are flipping to pay taxes, pay capital gains, is that if you don't have capital, if you don't have enough cash, enough capital to make moves, flipping is a great way to do that. A great way to build a capital reserves, right?
And you didn't start with zero though.
No,
you did. That's a big one, and like you can fall backwards into making money with no money, but like it helps a lot if you got a little seed money.
Well, listen, the Wealth and She's program that I learned was all about how to make money in real estate, how to do creative deals with no money down, right?
Yeah.
I had a head start because I just so happened to have, like I said, I had some shoebox money sitting around that I just spent every week, throw some money in there. And, it was like, finally, I need to do something with this, cash.
Yeah. So
here's cash. I don't care if it's in a mattress or if it's in a bank account. It doesn't matter to me where your cash comes from. But if it's just sitting there, it's actually losing you money. Can we all agree on that?
Right. Yeah. So I don't care if he is, the Lord and Savior of your life. I don't care if you think that, he's just a good guy who told a bunch of stories, but like Jesus told this story, right? And he tells the story about how there was this wealthy guy and he gives one of his servants 3 talents, one of his servants 5 talents, and one of his servants 10 talents. And, it's 1, 5, and 10. And here's the deal. Like, Lewis comes to the table with some talents, right? Like he's got some money saved up, and there's all kinds of people, like they were worthy to the master before that because of what they had done before that, right? So like if you want to get invested in real estate, you might need to cut all your expenses down to bare bones for a year or 2. You might need to drive some Uber. You might need to wait some tables on a weekend.
It's all about the side hustle.
Everything's
about the side hustle. We all got 24 hours in a day, right? I mean, you can have a main job. You can have a full-time job. That's great. I've never seen anybody get rich off of a full-time job. And I've never seen anybody save their way to getting rich either.
That's exactly right. John Maxwell, former pastor, now motivational speaker, and an author. He says that he's written like 20 books, 15 books. I forget what the number is, but he says that he did it all during prime time from 5 to 11 p.m. He said that's when money's made. He says a lot of the money in the world is made from 5 to 11. Are you going to be at home feeding the consumer mindset that you have, so you go buy more stuff?
Yeah.
Are you going to be going out to eat? Are you going to be shopping? Or are you going to be working on your side hustle from 5 to 11? All the wealth in the world, you're either making or losing money in what you're doing from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. And Lewis had shoebox money, sure, but it came from what he had previously done from 5 to 11 p.m.
I think it's all about the side hustle. We all have an opportunity, like you said, try Uber, get in sales. I mean, sales is the easiest way to make some. So a lot of people say, Lewis, I want to get into investing. You know, I got, $3,000. I got $6,000. What can I do with that? I got $10,000. What can I do with that? Or what should I do? I want to get into investing. I say, save more money.
Right. Or invest in something smaller and turn 3,000 into 6,000 and then 6 to 12.
Right. And listen, some of these guys, I mean, with the stuff that you can do nowadays, just in crypto alone, I got some friends that got 15, 20K sitting around with $3,000, $4,000 investments just because they jumped in on the right cryptocurrency. If you got to be willing to take chances, and you got to understand that your side hustle and your side endeavors are going to be probably what get you in a position to invest.
Well, and I think one thing that people have to take away from this, and this is like a Gary Vee thing, right? Gary Vee's thing is like, if you're happy with your life, that's awesome. Like, keep doing what you're doing. That's fantastic. But if you want to make a change, you want to invest in real estate, you want to save some money, you want to change your lifestyle, whatever, you got to make a sacrifice. If you want to change your family, that 5 to 11 time, you're going to invest it somewhere. You're going to put it in front of a TV, in front of a screen somewhere, and just throw it out the window. Or you're going to either work or you're going to invest in your family. And like, I look at that time as like, it's the time to invest. You go to work till 5, and then it's the time to invest either in yourself and your development, in your personally or professionally.
Okay with falling flat on your face too, right?
Right.
I believe that we have a responsibility to our families, right? To our future generations, right? I feel like we have a responsibility to produce and to contribute, and to leave something behind, I want to leave my kids up better off than I was. When
you want to give your kids 2 shoeboxes of money. They're going to have to spend it. They're going to have to do something with it. But you want to give your kids 2 shoeboxes.
I want to give them. They deserve it.
And they got to be Nike Airs, or not Nike Airs, but Jordans, right? They got to be Jordans.
Yeah. But there's something about being a good steward too. Sometimes you just got to be a good steward with your finances. And like Judah said, sometimes you may need to cut certain things out and sacrifice a little bit for a short period of time. But if you're willing to live 3 or 4 years, like most people aren't willing to live the rest of your life, like most people can't, I think that's a huge statement,
Yeah.
And, anyway, so that's a little bit about my story, how I got into real estate, and
that's awesome.
And then a year or two later, I ended up getting licensed as a realtor because my mentor said, Lewis, you're Latino, you're Puerto Rican, you're 100% bilingual, and you speak Spanish and English fluently, and you are already in real estate investing. Why don't you have a license? I didn't have a good answer for him. So the next week I enrolled in classes, and a month and a half later I was passing the state exam, and I ended up getting licensed as a realtor.
Well, so Lewis, one of the things that I love about you and I love about your story is, and we don't have to get into it, but number one, you've had some pretty serious and significant setbacks in your life.
You fall flat on your face. I fell flat on my face.
And you've overcome that. But the other thing is so like during that 9 to 5, there's like 2 stories here, right? During that 9 to 5 when you're working for somebody else, but then that 5 to 11, it's who you get around, right? So like the thing that I love is it's not just where you're making money. Like there's been several occasions where Lewis and I have been at a bar with a drink in one hand and a cigar in the other, talking about wealth building practices and talking about wealth principles. And do you know what I love the most is Lewis has a whole bunch of other minority people around him from his community that he's teaching, that he's training, that he's giving back. I one time had a sales manager, and he was a minority dude, and he said, you know what, not enough people do? They get out and then they don't hit the down elevator button to send the elevator back down so that more people can get out. And what I love about Lewis's story, and he won't brag on this, so I'll do it for him, is he's trying to help as many other people get out as he can. So if you have the chance to be around Lewis, I mean, you should be buying him a drink. You should be asking him to go out for coffee, and you pick up the check, because he is somebody who just effortlessly gives knowledge and value. But isn't that, and I don't mean to, but isn't that so much fun? Like, I love doing that. I've done it for 15 years.
Yeah.
Is it so rewarding, Lewis?
Yeah, that means first of all, thanks a lot, man. That means a lot that you said that. Here's the thing, man. If you look at the Jewish community, they support one another. They support each other's businesses. They help each other. They stick together. You know, the Mennonite community. We're from Lancaster County. The Mennonite community, the Amish community. I mean, they take care of each other, and they look out for one another, and they build wealth together. You know, and I was looking at my community and my people, and I'm sitting here like, why are we tearing each other down? You know, like, why aren't we supporting one another? I truly believe in empowering each other. And if I have knowledge, if I have some kind of knowledge and I'm just keeping it to myself because I look at everybody else as competition, I mean, that's, in my opinion, I have the wrong lens on. You know, that's not the right paradigm at all. You know, the way that I view the world is that if we have knowledge, we're supposed to uplift others, empower others, you know, and I like to speak life into people. You know, and every time I'm around someone, my favorite thing to do, like you said, Judah, having some bourbon and in one hand and a cigar on the other, and whether it's sitting around outside at the campground or sitting around my backyard around the fire pit or sitting at a cigar lounge just talking business, I love to motivate and inspire. You know, and if I can share my story, my wins, my losses, my failures, right? But I can help people get to where they're looking to go faster because of the mistakes I've made that they can avoid, and I can bring that wisdom to the table. I mean, to me, that's the most gratifying thing. People ask me all the time, what sets you apart from the next guy? Or why should I come to you for help or advice? Or why should you represent me? Why should you be the guy to help me build my rental portfolio? And it's because I promise you that I have failed more times than most people have tried.
Say that again. Say that again. Say that again.
I promise you that I have failed more times than most people have tried. And because of all that, all the times I fell flat on my face, I truly look at those as wins, not losses, because I learn so much faster. When I got my broker's license a couple years ago, you know what? So many people were like, are you nervous about the test? You know, when are you going to take it? People are calling me, you know, that want to be licensees and get their license. They finish the classes. They never get around to taking the test. That drives me insane. Why? Most people never get around to taking the test because they feel they need to study and prepare because they don't want to fail. And guess what? Most people never even take the real estate exam. The classes never actually get to the exam because of that failure. You know, that fear of failure. Me, you know what my strategy was? Finish the broker class. I don't have a lot of time. I'm busy. I'm always on the move. The fastest way for me to get my broker's license is just to hurry up and go take the damn test.
Right.
And I know I'm not. I know I'm not going to pass it. Right. I'm going to do my best. But the minute I fail, I can pinpoint all the areas that I don't know well enough that I need to spend time on. And now I don't have to spend hours studying the entire chapter of something. I can only study. I can spend 10, 15 minutes studying the things that I need to know better. And I know I got this other area good. I'll take the test 2-3 times. I passed on my third time. You know, and it took me 3 times to get my broker's test, to get my broker's license. But I did it on purpose. I didn't have time to study everything. Just let me study what I need to know better. And the only way I can figure that out is just to hurry up and go fail.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, that's amazing. That's awesome stuff. So Lewis, just really quickly, we've only got about 30 seconds to a minute left. So first of all, you run a brokerage and you're willing to take on agents who are interested, right? But just so we talked about that first deal, but just like give us some bullet points. When you own a retail establishment that has some rentals up above it, just give us the bullet points. You flip some properties, you still wholesale. Tell us just a little bit more about some of the stuff you've done, just really quickly, high level.
Picked up a few rentals over the years, but really the flipping game. And as I was licensed, I was just so busy helping other people learn to flip and helping them with their flips as a consultant, as a project manager, as their agent. The flip game really took off and got me busy, but I was able to still acquire a few rentals over the years. The single family ones recently, I was in a position where we were able to, after the tenants moved out, the market is so hot. And for us, it was time to get out of the single families and get into larger multi-unit commercial type of investments, right? Multi-family housing, more rent checks coming in, at one address, So I like that idea, and scaling is really a big deal to me, learning how to scale. But I realized something: when the market's super hot, those long-term single family rentals can be flips. I went in, I rehabbed them, updated them, staged them, got top dollar for these things, and sold them for retail. I'm in the process.
That's another one of the services that you provide, right? You do consulting for people. So if somebody were to bring you a flip, you could help them with the tile that they should be picking out.
I do design coordination. I do the project management. I have all the contacts with the contractors. I actually, Josh, you're in hard money. I actually broker a lot of hard money deals. I bring the private money lender and the investor together. I sell the property. They know that I'm involved in the deal. As a project manager, as the agent in the flip. So a lot of hard money lenders are even more confident, lending to my clients. It's just everybody wins, and that's part of the service. So I'm not just a realtor. I consider myself part of your team, and my clients consider me a very integral part of
you say you have contractors. I need somebody to mow some grass for me down in Nottingham on
landscaping. All right.
Dude, well, I'm gonna get their contact. Yeah, I gotta make a phone call.
He's at the Hive at our office, the Hive co-working space in Lancaster, where our headquarters is at.
Yeah.
He's actually Mike Bonilla. I'm dropping his name right here. BB Landscaping. The guy's amazing. Not only do they do landscaping, they do lawn care, weekly lawn care services. They also do tree cutting, trimming services, all that good stuff.
All right, awesome. I'll give him a call today. That's great. I got a meadow that I need mowed.
Yeah, man. Afterwards, if you want, shoot me a text and I'll get you the contact info.
Okay.
Yeah, Jonna here, who's my sister, says Nottingham. That's my neck of the woods. Yeah, I always tell people I may live in downtown Lancaster, but my heart will always be in southern Lancaster County.
Well, listen, if you're looking for a nice 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath house coming on the market here sometime in June, I'm telling you, Nottingham might be the place to be.
It might be the place to be. I'm looking forward to getting that listing. Lewis, I did an open house for Lewis.
I know some good realtors right here live on the call.
That's what I'm saying. I know it, man. Listen, we keep it in the network. We keep it in the family.
I love it.
I did an open house for Lewis back like in the fall. And, really nice, $400,000, $500,000 house. I forget exactly what it was, $600,000 house. And he was like, hey, do you know where this neighborhood is? I was like, yeah, I know exactly where it is. I remember when those houses were built, down in Lakewood. I mean, what's crazy is
Pennsylvania,
if those houses were any place else, they would be worth 2 or 3 times what they are. Like those houses are so amazing and they're so affordable because of what they were. And you did an amazing job with that listing, my friend.
But it was a tough one, but we got it sold. And it's a done deal. So another happy seller.
Right.
So yeah, outside of investing, we're realtors, full-time realtors. So like this, I never want to sell short the residential side of the business, because your neighbors and your coworkers and your family and your friends, they all, people are looking to buy their homes and sell their homes, and we absolutely are very capable and very successful in helping people do that, the residential business. I just think what really sets Slate House apart and what we're doing in our business is really the wealth building side and the investment side of the business of real estate.
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I always say, and this will be our last thing, and then Josh will close after this. And Lewis, don't hang up. Don't. We could chat with you a little bit after the show. So
Cool.
don't hang up, Lewis. But one of the things that I always try to remind people is 70% of the business I do is actually residential work.
Yeah.
And I talk the most about, and it's the most fun to talk about the 30% that's the investment stuff, but like doing investment real estate is like running with weights on. You know what I mean? When you do residential stuff, that's almost then a piece of cake because of that.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I mean, that's so true, especially when you have something like a, lower end properties where they have liens on them and all kinds of stuff. I mean, you probably went through that a lot where it's like, man, I got this great deal, except they owe more than that property's worth or I can pay for it, So that's awesome. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Great show today. Lewis, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I could talk forever about this stuff. I'm super passionate about the investment game, and this hour, I think we've been on for what, an hour or
half hour. I mean, we try to keep it pretty short, but I mean, you
definitely got to bring me back. We can talk about so much more.
I know that's amazing. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining us. If you are looking for a hard money loan, if you need to finance your next real estate deal, don't forget to give me a call. My number's right up here, 717-213-8488, or apply online at hardmoneybankers.com. If you are looking to list or sell or buy a property, if you're looking for property management, this guy right here is the guy to call. Call Judah. His number also at the top. Right between he and Lewis. I have had a guy that worked for me for so long. I've been trying not to call you Luis this entire time because
you're not wrong either way. Everybody always says that. Hey, check out Luis or Lewis. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's awesome. And if you want to get in touch with Lewis or Luis, reach out to Judah. They're in the same office. Lewis is the broker record at Slate House Group. If you're looking to hook up for, you need a hookup to help you with your investment property, you can call any of the three of us. Awesome. All right. We'll be back here tomorrow with all the news that's fit to print. Until then, go make some money. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget to like and share the show. Take care, guys.
See you, everybody.